Good evening. This is the Guilford Board of Education. It is Monday, May 12th. We ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So good evening. I do want to note that our superintendent, Dr. Freeman, is unable to be here in person. He is, however, joining us by Zoom. So we'll be involving him in the meeting as needed, and he will certainly be present as part of this meeting. I do want to ask my colleagues if we can add an item to the agenda tonight. I'd like to add an executive session to provide an update on pending litigation for the end of the meeting. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve adding an executive session at the end of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's everyone. Thank you. So we will add that after, that'll be item 13. And then we will come back out of executive session, no further discussion, no votes, and then adjourn the meeting. All right, first item on the agenda is to act on the April 7th, 2027 meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right. Any comments or corrections?
I noticed an edit on page 4.
Yeah.
At the top, item 9.5.2, I believe it should say COVID-19 pandemic rather than COVID-10.
Right. Thank you. Yep, I noted that too. In the heading of 9.52. Any other comments or corrections to these minutes?
I don't know if this is appropriate, but on 10.3 on that same page with the curriculum committee, where it talks about the meeting that was held.
Yeah.
It was more about, I think, about the level of preparedness, I believe, for college. And then this AI conversation was secondary to that. It just makes it sound like this was the whole purpose of the meeting.
It really depends on how Dr. Hirsch presented.
I know,
Dr. Hirsch, does that reflect what you believe?
I would say that's
you
true.
explained?
Well, no, I mean, I remember talking to the students where we were getting their feedback about the use of iPhones and AI. I think some comments came up. I'm not sure that this is not reflective of what happened.
I just remember it I just remember it being presented as the students had to read an article about college and being able to write long essays or write things for college versus high school, and that's what the discussion was about. And then it delved into the whole AI
Yeah, the
thing.
first part of the session was college preparedness.
Yeah.
So my question, though, is this.
I don't know
I'm going
how
to
it was
say,
presented.
I was going to say, this, I think, reflects what Dr. Hirsch shared about it, right? So this was not supposed to be a summary of that meeting.
Right.
Right.
This was a comment that Dr. Hirsch shared from that meeting. So
Yes.
If it reflects, Dick, what you said, which it seemed to me to do, then I think we leave it as is, because we do have minutes for that meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, corrections? All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes for Monday, April 7th as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. No problem. Next on the agenda, the Board of Ed meeting minutes from Monday, April 28th. This is our workshop meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any corrections or comments to these minutes? These are quite brief.
Yeah.
as is appropriate for the meeting. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the Monday, April 28th, 2025 Board of Education workshop meeting minutes? Aye. Any opposed?
I think I was
Any
there.
abstentions?
I abstained, I believe.
Oh, yeah. So Mr. Scretta and Ms. Rader
Yeah.
are abstentions, unable to be at that meeting. All right, we are up to public comments for topics on the board agenda. Is there anyone who wants to address the board on a topic on the agenda? No? All right. Number 5 is to review and approve the expenditures for the month of April 2025. I'm going to turn to Ms. Fenalosa for that.
Okay, expenditures for the month of April were $5,273,710.27. Expenditures and encumbrances through the end of April were 77.42% of the budget, compared with 78.57 a year ago. Revenue for April was $657,070.37, which did include $664 for excess cost grants. Also, we had additional $1,500 in tuition for open choice and $5,949.75 for Medicaid and $13,000 for tuition from Clinton Public Schools. An additional $1,006 for pre-K tuition and $950.62 for non-resident tuition. Overall, we are seeing most of our line items in line with previous years. We had benefits higher, which we have been discussing for quite some time. We're also seeing purchase services is lower. The tuition percentage budget is lower. Supplies and materials are lower. Capital is lower. Transportation is also lower. And overall, the warrants for the month were $2,117,596.64. We covered this in depth during our operations committee just prior to this conversation, so my colleagues and I had a chance to discuss any questions.
Terrific. Given that, I will just give an opportunity if anybody has any remaining comments or questions about financials. All right, none. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terrific. If can I have a motion then to approve the April 2025 financial reports for the fiscal year 24-25?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, that's unanimous vote. Thank you. We are up to communications. Does anyone have any communications that they wanted to share that they've received? I had one, and then essentially a second thing that I'll communicate out. I will be, we'll have to figure out how to share these. I did receive from Baldwin Middle School a very large packet of letters, or letters is not the right word, of work done, research done, in some cases letters, Dear Guilford Board of Education, that students at Baldwin Middle School did on the topic of school district start times.
Cool.
So I have, again, yes, a lot of these are letters, as I noted in the beginning. It's great. So we'll have to discuss how I can make these available to everyone to peruse through so we can all see them. So that was one great communication, really thoughtful kind of research and then communication to us. The second I just want to mention, I had the opportunity to go to a celebration, I think it was last week. Our Guilford Youth Mentoring Program is celebrating 25 years this year. A really amazing program matching a lot of adults in our community who are taking the time to connect with a student in our school system. So it was great. It was a great dinner.
Yeah.
Representative Rader had made sure to have
Citation.
a
yeah.
citation available that was read.
I know. Sorry to miss it, but I was.
No, it was great. So I did want to just note that celebration and note the importance of that program and all that the individuals involved in managing and directing the program, but also the whole range of folks in this town who participate and give of their time. So, terrific. Student representatives, I think we're up to you. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
So starting off with Adams, today they had their first ever Bike to School Day. They met at the Green and a group of students, parents, and teachers, along with First Selectman Matt Hoey, biked to school with the assistance and support of our school resource officers who kept them safe along the way. Spring sports are in full swing, and their baseball, softball, and track and field teams are doing very well. Their spring concert season is beginning, and their first concert is on Wednesday evening. They will have select ensembles in band, orchestra, and chorus. Their 7th graders have been working on an exciting project through their social studies classes, where they have been paired with a 7th grade class at a middle school in Taiwan to learn about different cultures through artwork. This project is called Art Link, and their 7th graders will be Zooming live with their Taiwanese components on May 22nd at 7:30, which is 7:30 p.m., which is 7:30 a.m. in Taiwan. Adams PTO and administrators celebrated their amazing Adams teachers and staff last week for Teacher Appreciation Week. On April 28th, they had their 2nd annual Adams Pickleball Tournament. So they had over 50 teams participate, and that included students and teachers, and they had a lot of fun. And then finally for Adams, they found out they earned the 2025 Best Communities for Music Education Award from the NAMM Foundation. This is all thanks to Mr., I'm going to mispronounce his name, I'm sorry, Johaz, the Adams orchestra teacher who brought this forward. Mr. Johaz and Dr. Mullen worked with music colleagues across all levels to pull together information to represent their amazing music program and highlight the incredible work their musicians do in Guilford. Moving on to Lakes, the Safe School Climate Committee, in conjunction with the 4th grade Kindness Committee and Assembly Committee, created and presented an assembly on kindness, one of Guilford Lake's 4 behavior pillars. They challenged students to do acts of kindness and shared the names of students who were kind to them with their teachers. Students' names who shared acts of kindness were reported to their teachers, and their names were added to the Guilford Lakes kindness tree. A big thank you to the Lakes PTO, who sponsored a field trip to Bishop's Orchard. Students enjoyed a read aloud of Honeybee by Candace Fleming. They then hopped on a tractor to ride through the blooming apple trees, where students had the opportunity to see apple blossoms in full bloom and observe bees busily working to pollinate. They even saw boxes filled with bees, pollinators that will come and go all season long. Next, students labeled parts of a bee and planted their very own marigold flower. They also had fun buzzing around like bees, pretending to pollinate flowers. It was amazing to see how many pollinators visit flowers and contribute to the essential process of pollination. To wrap up the day, they ate lunch in the orchard surrounded by the apple blossoms. Students are already looking forward to visiting in the fall again to see how much the trees have grown. And then
Doesn't sound
finally,
like an inner-city school.
1st grade had an in-house school field trip. A place called Hope, a bird rehabilitation organization, visited grade 1 and shared their 2 types of falcons and eagles. The students loved seeing all the body parts that help them survive in real life.
So for Calvin Leet, they just recently had Teacher Appreciation Week, where the PTO hosted a week of treats and gifts, and Ms. Lopez brought in donuts for everyone. They also had a Bike to School Day on Monday, May 12th, where they met at the Guilford Green and biked to school together. There was recently the grade 3 and 4 concert where they performed songs including Choose Love and Jamaica Farewell. They are actually hosting Bash the Trash next week to teach sustainability through music made from recycled materials. And some important dates coming up for them are May 15th, the K-2 Spring Concert. May 19th to 23rd is the book fair. May 30th, there are multiple field trips and family fun night at 5:30. And June 3rd through 6th, they have grade 4 events and field day. And then for A.W. Cox, they have their end of the year music performances where students can showcase their learning throughout this year. And planning is underway for the 4th grade Stepping Up ceremony. Field day preparations are also in full swing for them, and only 25 days remain until the end of the school year.
So for Baldwin Middle School, last month, April 30th, the Baldwin PTO hosted a variety show in the GHS PAC, where students were able to show off their interests and talents. Attendance was great, and it was a huge success. Congratulations to all those who participated. They also recently celebrated Teachers Appreciation Week and gave thanks for the student and community support. They were able to have food, treats, and other surprises for the Baldwin staff as a token for their great appreciation. Now they will be shifting their focus to grade 4 through 5 transition and will be hosting a parent information session of these students next Monday, May 19th. In the days following, the students will be able to ask questions from a teacher and a student's perspective, helping kids get excited about moving up. This and an open house will be held for parents and students, striving to make the transition from elementary schools to Baldwin smooth.
And then for Melissa Jones, the school had a lot of field trips this past month where grade 1 went to Roger Peterson Estuary and grade 2 visited Dinosaur State Park, and we're getting to enjoy beautiful days. The Tanglewood Marionettes performed for Melissa Jones thanks to the PTO, and they had a K-2 musical performance where students did a great job. And recently they've celebrated School Lunch Hero Day and School Nurse Day, along with Teacher Appreciation Week, celebrating their teachers' kindness and respect. Also, May is Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so they've been recognizing people of influence during morning announcements. Lastly, a couple things that they're looking forward to this month are the variety show and the art show this Thursday. Grade 3's visit to the U.S. Coast Guard and the grade 4 glow party. And then for the high school, coming up, and actually right now, we've got AP and IB testing, which I know is putting a lot of stress on everyone.
Yeah.
And then for spring sports, we've got SEC playoffs coming around soon enough, so good luck to all the sports teams.
And then this past weekend, Guilford had their 24-hour play, which I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but students sign up and they get to come to the high school and they get assigned a role that's new to them. So some were writers, some were producers, some were actors. The writers stayed overnight and they pulled an all-nighter to create their own play based on the theme that was introduced to them that night. And they were paired with a team and they had 24 hours to write, produce, and act. 6 10-minute plays, and the theme was rules were broken. So if anyone went to that, they did a great job. Like the fact they made that all in 24 hours was incredible. And then there was junior prom, which was a lot of fun. That was April 25th. The junior class went to Woodwinds, and we had a fun time just like dancing and hanging out, and it was great, all dressed up. And senior prom is coming up at the end of May, which a lot of students are, especially the seniors, looking forward to.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. The 24-hour play, it sounded like it's been done before?
Yeah.
How have I not heard about
Yeah.
this?
It's
That is
really
awesome.
I know, I want to do it next year. I was following the Instagram page, and they post like little updates from how it was going, and it looked like so much fun.
And are the plays They put them, when it's done, the plays are put on for the other groups, or
Or anyone.
outside people
Yeah,
come in?
anyone can
go.
Oh my gosh, where have I been?
Yeah.
This sounds so cool.
It's so cool. So yeah, they were presented the theme that
Yeah.
night, and then so that was presented to them at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And then at 7 p.m. the next day, anyone could.
They have the.
Oh, great.
right.
Yeah.
I think it was
So
like
cool.
$5 at the door. I
Yeah.
had every intention of coming, and then like.
Oh, where have I been? This sounds very cool.
It's
I need
so
to make
cool.
sure I make it
It
next
looks
year.
like a fun thing to participate in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like the whole staying over at the school, that's just
Sure.
like, such a unique experience and touch to it. So, yeah, a lot of espresso shots. I heard a lot of coffee.
Excellent. Any other questions for our students?
It's just a crazy time for you guys right now. I'm living it in
Yeah.
my house, so
Right, I bet.
with you said IB and APs last week and this week, so
Stressful.
home
but-
stretch, right?
Yeah,
Home
everyone's
stretch.
been doing like a lot of people at the library in here, a lot of people
Yeah.
just working hard, trying to not think about summer too hard.
Right. Stay
And
focused.
once this is all over, it'll definitely be a bit smoother until finals. So
Good.
Great. Well, thank you.
thank you.
Wonderful, as
Thank you,
usual.
thank you.
I hope you
Thank
guys
you.
have
Thank you.
a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
All right. Number 8, Superintendent's Report, May 27, 2025, Technology Committee Public Forum. Dr. Goss, are you? Yes, Paul is on the Zoom.
Yes, he's here.
yes.
We just can't hear him. So-
Yes.
So I'll
But I'm turning to you, I think, right?
Yes,
Wonderful.
absolutely. So actually, I'd like to start with something that we did right after our last meeting.
Okay.
The next morning, we were able to host in Guilford the Superintendent's Network for the state of Connecticut. And that was an exciting opportunity for us. We had 20 superintendents come and join us, along with faculty from Harvard. Jen Cheatham joined us, and Richard Lemons of Partners for Educational Leadership. And they came and looked at a problem of practice with us and toured the school, did some observations, looked at some of our data, and then provided us with some feedback and provided Paul with an extra level of feedback after the rest of us left. So it was a wonderful opportunity to understand our schools in a different way and to have a different lens looking at us. So that was exciting for us, and as actually was mentioned a little before the meeting, our Technology and Education Advisory Group is going to be sharing out the findings of all of the work that they've done throughout the entire year at our next meeting, and there will be an opportunity for public comment at that meeting as well. So
Terrific.
people should know that we would welcome them to join us and share their feelings about AI in schools, cell phones in schools. And we also have Christina Nickus-Nadler and John Fody, who are co-chairing that committee, excellently co-chairing that committee. They really have been outstanding in their chairpersonship, and they are going to be sharing all of the work, all of the research, giving you as many facts as they can so that we can make decisions going forward for what's right in Guilford schools.
And I do want to note, I just said per the agenda, it is the 27th. Okay. We have a different date on the next page, but the workshop meeting is, because Memorial Day is that
right.
Monday, just want to make super clear to the public that the meeting is Tuesday, May 27th at 7:30 here in the high school.
Not the 28th.
Right, not the 28th as it says here, and also not on Monday when our meetings usually are. So Tuesday, the 27th.
Tuesday, the 27th.
And a public forum will be part of this meeting. So
Yes.
terrific. Excellent.
And that's
Thank
it.
you. Can I ask you a question about you said 20 superintendents here
Yes.
meeting. Was that a unique event? Is that something that happens every year at a different school in Connecticut or in New England, or?
It actually happens in schools all around Connecticut. There are several visits in a year, maybe 4 visits in a
Okay.
year. And they go to different districts. We were lucky in that I think we had more superintendents than are able to make it to every situation, but
Right.
They're all invited each time and they join.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah.
And it was the 5th time that we have visited Guilford schools in the last 13 years.
Okay,
Great.
that sounds great. Excellent, all right. We are up to 9 on the board agenda. 9.1 is personnel items. So we have a couple of personnel items to address tonight. The first is that we are being asked to ratify the resignation of the following teachers. Karen Russo, Guilford High School, math and computer science teacher, 12 years of experience. And Caitlin Romeo, A.W. Cox Elementary School, special education teacher, 2 years of experience. So is there a motion, please, to ratify the resignation of these teachers?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed or abstained? Okay, that's everyone. And then we're being asked to ratify the retirement of the following teacher, Denise Gravina, Guilford Lakes Elementary School, grade 1 teacher, 28 years of experience. And I have to say, this touches my heart. Denise had both my kids at Guilford Lakes, and in fact, we got to have 3 years with her because Brendan looped with her from 2nd to 3rd grade in a not totally uncommon, but a somewhat unique situation. It was just Denise is wonderful, and I am just so grateful for all her years of service in Guilford. So, is there a motion to ratify, for the purposes of retirement, the following teacher, Denise Gravina?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained. All right, thank you. 9.2, we are being asked to approve a donation of a Yamaha grand piano valued at $18,000 from the Jacob family, Dee and Bob Jacob, to the Guilford High School Music Department. I'm just going to read a little bit here. Thank you. Thank you for your request to Guilford High School to accept a Yamaha grand piano model C3 valued at $18,000 from Dee and Bob Jacob. The piano has been appraised and replaces the current piano in the GHS orchestra room, which dates back to 1970. Wow. And is not in good shape. So really a wonderful gift.
Yeah, I just want to
Go ahead.
say, I mean, Dee and her husband are kind of really important folks in this community, and Dee's been involved with the Chamber of Commerce for years, and just they're a really important part of this community, so it's extraordinarily generous and a special way for their name to be attached to something that will be part of our music community for years to come.
Absolutely. All right, so is there a motion to approve this donation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That's everybody. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and a great thank you to Dee and Bob. Absolutely. 9.3 is to act on acceptance of registrations for 8 kindergarten students under the age of 5 requesting enrollment in the 25-26 year. So in July 2023, a Public Act 23208 amended in Connecticut the age for entrance to kindergarten, but continues to allow districts to consider children younger than that minimum age for enrollment into kindergarten per an assessment of the child. And so we are being asked to approve these, approve 8 students, 4 for Jones, 2 for Guilford Lakes, 2 for Calvin Leet, who have been assessed and have been approved for admission by the building principals for the 25-26 school year. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's everybody. Thank you. All right. Up to reports on committees. I know Ms. Peck is not able to be here tonight, but I don't know if we have any report on the policy committee. Anyone?
I was there.
Okay.
There were 2 policies. One's a new one that was proposed that I know is going to be coming to the board, I believe, next month for further discussion.
Okay.
There's another one about lunch accounts that is being contemplated. That was pretty much it from our policy meeting last Wednesday.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Bowden? No. That covered it? All right. And I believe the meal one was one we put on hold a couple months ago because it needed further.
We're just working on some wording.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, terrific. Operations Committee, anything to add?
Nothing to add?
Nothing to add. Dr. Hurst, Curriculum Instruction Assessment Committee?
Well, the
anything?
last time we met, we had 2 panels. The first set of panels were students who we asked to comment on an article that had been sent to them about the impact of social media and technology on their lives. And second panel was a group of teachers who echoed all the things we heard from students about the impact of these things. So it was a good meeting in the sense that we got ground truth from 2 different groups.
And the second, right, was our workshop meeting. Was that part of our workshop meeting? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Liaisons to town committees, any reporting out? Okay. And then I have now had conversations with the folks from Learn as we consider membership or fulfilling our membership on the board of directors for Learn. They do, in fact, have a Zoom option, and they are open to us considering 2 people to fill the role, either alternating or in a way that makes sense. So we don't have to figure it out right this second, but I'm going to send an email out to everyone for consideration of who might have the opportunity to participate in that. Learn meets once a month, Thursday mornings. I think it's 9 to 11 or 9:30 to 11:30. But again, with 2 people, we may be able to create a presence there. That would be important. All right, that brings us up to public, our second public comments, although I don't see anyone in the public here.
No, but can I just make a pitch?
Sure.
This weekend is Guilford Pride, which the schools have actively supported. I believe there's going to be some school presence at the event, and we're praying for good weather, unlike last year.
It was very wet.
We're holding
last year.
our breath right now, but definitely it's a phenomenal event. It's just a very uplifting, kind, like it's just, I can't express how wonderful it is. This is the 3rd year of it happening, and it is extremely successful, and more vendors this year than we've ever seen before. It's a great way to support the local establishments around the green, and it is just truly a wonderful event, and I encourage everyone to go.
Can you, the exact time? Do you have the
Yep,
exact time?
it's 12 to 4, and of course, Ms. Salato will tell me if I'm wrong.
Saturday.
Saturday, rain date of Sunday.
Okay, wonderful. All right. This actually brings us to the end of our meeting, again, except that we are going to have an executive session. After we go into executive session and then come out, there will be no further discussion nor votes.
Look for a place to pull over. They're wrapping up the meeting now.
Paul, you're on.
Hot mic.
Paul.
You're on live, Paul.
I need to do something.
Paul, you're
All right.
speaking.
I need to do
Paul?
something.
Just hit mute.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Happy.
Aye. Wonderful. Thank you very much.